to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at vertical gardens. But not just any vertical garden. We're going to be adding in a Cane Corso to the mix.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So if you're thinking about getting a Cane Corso, or maybe you want to spruce up your apartment, this is the deep dive for you.
I can already see how this could be a challenge.
Exactly. And luckily, we've got some great resources. We've got articles about vertical gardening, safe plants for dogs, even some guides on Cane Corso behavior and DIY irrigation.
So we're trying to figure out how to make a vertical garden that works in a small space, but is also safe for a big dog.
That's the goal. I mean, imagine you've got this beautiful balcony, but it's pretty small, and then you've got this big, strong Cane Corso running around.
You would want a bunch of pots you could knock over.
Exactly. So going vertical makes a lot of sense.
It's safer, and it just looks great.
Right. But how do we actually make that happen? What are some ways we can build a vertical garden?
Well, we could use wall-mounted planters. Those are really secure.
Oh, yeah, those are nice. And what about hanging baskets? Those could look amazing.
Yeah, they'd add some visual interest at different heights.
But wait, wouldn't a hanging basket be like a giant chew toy for a Cane Corso?
That's where choosing the right plants comes in. And of course, we'll have to talk about training too.
Okay, good point. So besides wall-mounted planters and hanging baskets, what else can we do?
Well, if you like a rustic look, we could use a pallet. You know, like a wooden pallet.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, you could attach to the wall and then use it to make pockets for plants.
That's a cool idea. And what about something more, I don't know, structured?
You could use a tiered plant stand.
Like those shelves for plants.
Exactly. But we'd have to make sure it's super sturdy.
Yeah, with a Cane Corso bumping into it, it would have to be.
Right? We could also use a trellis.
Oh, yeah, for climbing plants.
Exactly. You could have a jasmine vine or even passion flower growing up.
That would look incredible. But before we get too carried away, we have to think about the dog. I mean, Cane Corsos are big and strong.
You're absolutely right. Safety is the priority.
Yeah. We don't want him eating something poisonous.
Exactly. Not all plants are safe for dogs. We'll have to look at our resources and see what's safe and stylish.
Okay, good. Because I was starting to think we'd be stuck with plastic plants, so what kinds of plants can we actually use?
Well, herbs are a great option. Things like basil, thyme, rosemary.
They're safe for dogs.
They are.
Yeah.
And they smell amazing. Plus, you can use them in your cooking.
That's perfect. Okay, herbs. What else?
Well, for that classic hanging basket look, spider plants are great.
Spider plants, yeah.
They're non-toxic, they clean the air, and they're really easy to care for.
But won't a Cane Corso want to play with those long dangly leaves?
Well, that's why training is going to be so important. We can't just rely on safe plants. We need to teach them to leave them alone.
Okay, I see your point. But it's going to be tough, right? I mean, Cane Corsos are strong and curious.
They are. So we need to make sure everything is strong and secure.
Yeah, no flimsy plant stands.
Exactly. But, you know, all that intelligence and curiosity, it's actually an opportunity.
Oh, I see what you're saying. We can use the vertical garden to keep him mentally stimulated.
Right. All those different plants, smells, textures, it's like a sensory playground.
That's such a cool way to think about it. So we're not just protecting the plants from the dog, we're using the plants to enrich his life.
Exactly. That's what makes this so interesting. We have to balance practicality and design with the needs of a Cane Corso.
It's a win-win.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And that's what we're going to be diving deeper into. We'll talk about specific plants, training, and even some DIY projects.
I can't wait. All right, so we've talked about the basics, but I need some inspiration. What would a Cane Corso-friendly vertical garden actually look like?
Okay, picture this. You've got this sunny balcony, right?
Yeah.
So you have this over-the-railing planter,
Mm-hmm.
and it's full of succulents.
Succulents. Oh, yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, like echeveria.
Huh.
They're super colorful, and they have those interesting shapes.
But wouldn't a whole planter of just succulents be a bit, I don't know, boring?
You could add a hanging basket with a Boston fern.
Oh, yeah. Those have those beautiful long fronds.
Exactly. That would add some nice contrast to the succulents.
Okay, I like that. What if I want something a bit more simple?
Oh, if you're going for minimalist, you could have a wall-mounted planter, maybe black metal,
Yeah, I can see that.
and it's just a row of spider plants in it. Super clean and modern.
Yeah, spider plants are pretty cool. They go with everything. But let's be real, a Cane Corso is going to steal the show no matter what plants we use.
Uh-huh.
True.
Speaking of, have you thought about an herb garden?
Ooh, herbs. Like a whole vertical herb garden.
Yep. Imagine all those fresh herbs. Basil, thyme, rosemary.
And they're safe for dogs.
They are.
Okay, I'm sold. Herbs it is. But how do we actually build all this? Any DIY tips?
Remember those pallets we talked about?
The wooden one?
Yeah. You could totally upcycle those into a vertical garden.
How would that even work?
You just attach it to the wall and then use fabric to make planting pockets.
Okay, that sounds kind of fun. What if I want to build something a bit more, I don't know, advanced?
Ooh. You could build a tiered plant stand.
Like from scratch?
Yeah. You could use reclaimed wood or bamboo. That would be awesome.
Oh, I like that. But wouldn't that be a bit dangerous with a cane corso running around?
We'd have to make sure it's super sturdy
Yeah.
with a wide base.
And no plants on the bottom shelf.
Right. We don't want any tempting snacks within reach.
Good point. And what about those climbing plants? Could we use those?
Absolutely. A trellis would be great for that.
So we could have like jasmine or honeysuckle.
Exactly.
Okay, I think I'm getting the hang of this. But what about actually taking care of these plants?
Well, first, we need to pick the right spot.
Like somewhere sunny.
Most plants need bright, indirect light.
So near a window, but not in direct sun. Got it.
And, of course, out of reach of your cane corso.
Right. Safety first.
Okay, once you've got the spot, you need good soil.
Like just regular potting soil?
It needs to drain well.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. And that's where those decorative stones come in, right?
Yep. They help with drainage. Ain't Andy, they look nice.
2 birds, 1 stone. Literally.
Now, watering? This can be tricky.
How so?
You don't want to overwater, but you don't want to underwater either.
So how do I know when to water?
Feel the soil with your finger. If it's dry, it's time to water.
Makes sense. What about those drip irrigation systems? Do those actually work?
They can be a lifesaver.
Yeah.
Especially if you're busy or, have a cane corso who likes to knock things over.
Oh, I can see that happening. Okay, drip irrigation it is. What about fertilizer?
Yep, fertilizer's important too.
Any special kind?
A slow-release fertilizer is the best.
Okay, slow release fertilizer. Got it. So location, soil, water, fertilizer, anything else?
Air circulation. You need to make sure your plants have good airflow.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
Otherwise, they could get diseases.
Okay, so light, soil, water, fertilizer, air circulation.
It seems like a lot,
It kind of is.
but it becomes second nature. Just observe your plants and don't be afraid to experiment.
That's good advice. Experiment and be prepared for some doggy mishaps.
Exactly. Embrace the chaos. That's part of the fun.
Okay, I'm excited to see how this all turns out. Let's move on to part 3, where we'll see some real examples of these gardens and answer some questions. All right, I'm ready to see some of these Cane Corso-friendly vertical gardens in action. What have you got for me?
Okay, how about this? A really cool urban apartment, maybe with exposed brick.
Ooh, I love exposed brick.
Right, so picture this. One of the walls, maybe in the kitchen, is totally covered in plants.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're in those sleek black planters. And it's all herbs. Basil, rosemary, thyme.
So stylish
Mm-hmm.
and practical. Fresh herbs right there in the kitchen.
Exactly, and it would smell amazing.
Okay, that's one. What else have you got? Something a little more, I don't know, homey.
Okay, imagine a living room with a big window. And there's this pallet, a wooden pallet.
Yeah.
It's been painted, and it's on the wall. And it's got succulents and some trailing plants and even some bright flowers.
Oh, that's so cute. And those palettes are really trendy right now.
Yeah, they add a lot of character.
Okay, I love it. Now, what about balconies? What can we do with those?
A balcony.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to have a hanging planter full of Boston ferns.
Oh, yeah. Those would look amazing, like a waterfall of ferns.
Exactly.
So pretty. Okay, so those are some ideas. But have you heard from any actual Cane Corso owners who have done this?
Oh, yeah. We got a story from a listener who said her Cane Corso was really interested in her new hanging baskets.
Uh-oh. That's what I was worried about.
Yeah, well, she already started training her dog to leave it.
Oh, good. That's so important.
Right, so she kept working with him, and eventually he learned to leave the plants alone.
That's great. So it does work. It's just about consistency.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, good to know. Now, what about people who don't have a lot of sunlight? Can they still do this?
Ah, good question. You can totally use grow lights.
Grow lights. Those actually work.
They do. They mimic sunlight, so you can grow plants anywhere.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So even if you live in a basement apartment, you can still have a vertical garden.
Exactly. You just need the right tools.
This is all so inspiring. I'm feeling ready to start my own vertical garden. Any last thoughts before we wrap up?
Just remember, this is about more than just plants. It's about creating a space that you, Andy, your dog, can enjoy.
That's a great point. It's about bringing nature indoors and making it work for everyone.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Cane Corso-friendly vertical gardens. And don't forget to send us pictures of your own creations. We'd love to see them.
Yes. We Can't wait to see what you come up with.
Until next time, happy gardening, everyone.